Shalom, shalom, Yasharala. It's your boy, Brother Samuel, back at you with another quick edifying video. Right, today's lesson is going to be called Plagues Come Upon the Whole Earth. Right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Right, that's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and His only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. And the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash, right? Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone from Tahar on down, who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth, right, in these last days. Like I said, today's lesson is going to be called Plagues Come Upon the Whole Earth, right? And I was watching a video maybe a couple days ago, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, with Elder Apostle Gabar, and I think he was watching a video that a brother had made, and it was talking about like the locust, invasion in Mecca, right? And he was just talking how, the Lord is not, dealing with this, dealing with these folks, you know what I mean? But and he was talking about the plagues too, but I kind of wanted to go over it too. I just had a couple of scriptures, right? And I'm gonna close it out, So Lord will, this is edifying for the sheep, right? And this is from encountertoday.com, right? And this was on April 17th, right? And it says shocking locust invasion in Mecca, a biblical sign of the end times, right? We know we're living in the end times, right? So I'm just going to read this real quick, right? You can see the pictures and all that stuff. But it says an extraordinary event at one of Islam's holiest sites, Mecca and Saudi Arabia, has taken place during the Ramadan rains. It says the Grand Mosque was besieged by massive swarms of locusts. This occurrence greatly disturbed the worshippers and compelled the authorities to embark on a large-scale cleaning operation, which says, what could this plague of the biblical proportions mean, right? And they're asking, a question about it, right? And I don't want to kind of go in, I just wanted to kind of show this, man, and you see this, man, like, look at this, man. Folks, they covered in locusts, man. They covered in locusts, right? And right here in their so-called holy place, man, right? They got locusts just plaguing them over here, right? And of course, when I saw the elder Apostle Gabar kind of bring it out, I was like, oh man, but then I was like, let me look up and see if I can find the article about it, because I wanted to do something on it. So, called Yahawah Bahasham, Mashiach Yahawashi, I found it. So, but yeah, you see this, right? You see you got the dude over here, hey, he's covered in locusts, or looks like maybe even cockroaches or something, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is what we got going on, right? So I want to go over a couple of scriptures, right? And then I'm gonna close it out, right? So let's just start off. We're gonna go into the Apocrypha, right? Go into the Apocrypha to 2nd Ezra, right? 15 and verse number 5. And it reads, behold, saith Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, right? Famine, death, and destruction, right? These are the things that Yahawah Shem Yahawashi is going to bring upon this evil and wicked place, man, right? This wicked world, right? It says, verse 6, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled, right? And we see this the more and more, right? The scriptures say, let's get this real quick. What's in my head? 2nd Ezra 14 and 16, it says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. It says, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein, right? And because of the evilness and the wickedness of this world now, right, of this earth, right? Because we know that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? And all he's doing is just being vile, and just the most evil and wretched thing. He's doing all these things, right? And the Lord is now he's plaguing this place. He's plaguing Esau's world, right? With all these different things, right? And we know that there's nothing new under the sun. Let me get that. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Salakia. Right? So it says the plagues are come upon the whole earth. Right? Here we go. Ecclesiastes 1:9. Con. Yep. This is Ecclesiastes 1:9. It says the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done. Salakia, and that which is done is that which shall be done. There is no new thing under the sun, right? A lot of the stuff is just being kind of replayed, man, right? Throughout the generations. You've had the plagues, in Egypt, right? And just like in the days of Egypt, this is let's get that right. This is modern day or spiritual Sodom and Egypt, right? So the same things, right? The famine, right? The plagues, the pestilence, right? All these things are coming again upon the earth, right? It says Revelation 11:8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, right? And this is where we dwell now, here in America, right? But we know that this whole place is run by Esau. This whole earth is run by Esau and the wicked. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and they have done, what they have done. They try to do different things. Like we want to try to recycle. We want to try to cut down and stuff on the ozone layer. Why? Because you basically destroyed this earth, man. You destroyed this earth and everything in it, right? And that's why in Revelation 11 and 18, right? It talks about when you jump down to like the last little paragraph. It says, "And them that fear the name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." Right? They're destroying this earth, man, day by day. Right? With the emissions, the gas emissions, they got all these different things, all these different regulations, and that's why, the evils, and that's why this pestilence and plagues have come upon the earth, right? And Yahawashi talked about it too. Let's get that right. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24 and verse number 4, right? And it says, "And Yahawashi answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, say, I am a Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Right? So all these things, are prophesied to happen, right? And we know that Yahawashi is the spirit of prophecy, according to Revelation 19:10, right? So when you prophesy, you're speaking about things before they happen, right? You're showing them, and talking about them before they actually happen, right? It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom," right? And you see like what's going on right now. You got Sudan and their little civil war thing, right? You got the North Koreans versus the South Koreans. You got all these different things popping off right now, right? So it says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, right? And you see how they they recently, they basically blew up, what was it, like 18,000 cows, man, at this plant, and said that it exploded. They got all these different things. They're causing these man-made famines, but ultimately we know it's of the Lord. It's of prophecy, right? It says, and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, right? Like you just seen recently, if you watch the news, that there's a place right off I think it's near the Pacific, right, where they're saying that, hey, it's going to be a major earthquake, right? They found a spot where it's going to be disastrous, right? It says, in diverse places, all these are the beginning of sorrows, right? So this is how we know through the prophecies of where we are and where we're standing, how close we are to the end, right? How close we are to the end of these last days when we see these things, come upon the earth. And Yahawashi warned us and said, take heed, right? So be warned, Let's go to, and like I say, this is all things of old, right? You got volcanoes erupting all around. You had tornadoes, they had a video I saw today, man, about, you saw a tornado like pick up this car and just kind of toss it like it was a toy car, man. Flipped it a few times and landed on his roof. But let's get this right. Let's go. Like I said, this is the plagues come upon the whole earth, right? And we saw that in Mecca. You had these black locusts, right, plaguing, right, the people who were dwelling there, right. So I want to get this real quick. Right, we're gonna go to Salakia, Exodus chapter 10, and we'll start at verse 1, right? And this is from Egypt, right? This is when Moses, was going to the Pharaoh, and he was through the power and spirit of Yahawashi, right, plaguing Egypt, right? But you remember that Pharaoh's heart continued to get hardened. The Most High would harden his heart so that he would not deliver the children of Israel, right? So let's get this, right? This is Exodus 10 and verse 1. It says, and Yahawashi said unto Moses, go unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I might show these my signs before him, and that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son and thy son's sons what things I have wrought in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know that I am Yahawah. Right? It says, verse 3, and Moses and Aaron came into the Pharaoh and said unto him, thus saith Yahawashi, thy power of the Hebrews, how long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if thou refuse to let the people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring the locusts into thy coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth, and they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth unto you from the hail, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. And it says, and they shall fill the houses and all of the servants and of the houses of the Egyptians, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were upon the earth unto this day. And he turned himself and went out from Pharaoh. Right? We keep reading. It says, verse 7, and Pharaoh's servants said unto him, how long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the men go, that they may serve Yahawashi their power. Knowest thou not yet that Egypt is destroyed? And Moses and Aaron were brought again unto Pharaoh, and he said unto them, go, serve Yahawashi your power. But who are they but who are they that shall go? And Moses said, we will go with our young and with our old, with our sons and with our daughters, and with our flocks and with our herds. We will go, for we must hold a feast unto Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And he said unto them, let Yahawashi, let Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi be so with you, as I will let you go, and your little ones look to it, for evil is before you. Not so. Go now, ye that are men, and serve Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, for that ye did desire, and they were driven out from the Pharaoh's presence. Right? It says, verse 12, and Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand. Now you got to understand, Yahweh was putting it into Pharaoh's heart to keep him hardened and to keep him, to still continue to buck up against, Moses, right? And the children of Israel, so that he could show his power, that his power may be manifest and his name may be known amongst all the heathens, right? It says, verse 12, it says, and Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts, that they may come upon the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land, even all that the hail have left, right? Because remember, it was hail and fire that came down before and it had destroyed most of the crops and that stuff like that. And now whatever's left, the locust is eating it, right? And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and the Lord and Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt and rested in all the coast of Egypt. And very grievous were they before them. There were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. It says, for they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. And they did eat every herb of the land, and all the land, all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. And there remained not any green thing in the trees, or in the herbs of the field throughout all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste and said, I have sinned against Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, your power, and against you. Now therefore forgive, I pray thee, my sin only this once, and entreat Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi thy power, that he may take away from me this death only. And he went out from Pharaoh and entreated to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi turned a mighty strong west wind and took away the locusts and cast them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the coast of Egypt. But Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go. Right? So even with all that, right? Even with all that, the Lord put it into the Pharaoh's heart to not hearken, right? And to refuse to let the children of Israel go at the end of the day, right? So, I just want to get this, the background of that, with the locusts, the plague of the locusts, right? They came and ate up all the herbs that were left in the field, right? And let's go back to this, right? Like you just see this right here. We're just going back to this for a visual, right? It said they covered the whole earth, right? So just imagine that, right? You see this right here, right? They're covering all this part of in Mecca, right? They're covering on the people, right? They just being a nuisance and a plague, upon the people, right? All right, so I just want to get that so you have an understanding. Now let's go back to Second Ezra, right? Let's go back to Second Ezra, and let's go to verse 15, and let's go to verse number 27, right? This is Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 27. It says, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, right? So not only, like in Egypt, right, and you saw even with Egypt, it said the whole earth was covered, you know, with the locusts, right? That whole area of where, in Egypt, the whole land was covered, right? But now we know that the plagues are coming upon the whole earth, the whole entire earth, right? And you see it, right? And the thing that's crazy, especially living here in Babylon, they only show you what they want to show you. You gotta dig and research things that's going on, right? Because you don't this didn't make the news. You didn't hear about this, right? I saw this, right, from Elder Apostle Gabar, from a video that he saw from another brother, right? And then you got to kind of search it, and then all of a sudden you'll find the article on it, or sometimes you won't even find the articles on it. But you see that these things are happening, these plagues are happening across the whole earth. Like one I can remember, back when the jump shot was in place, we had the lockdown. They had in Australia, right? They were being plagued by mice, by farm mice or something. And I'm talking, it was like millions and millions of them, and they was invading people's houses. They was just everywhere. They was just in people's bedding, right? They were in people's shoes. They were just in the floors. They were in the walls. They were everywhere, right? These plagues are coming upon, but we don't see them here in America, right? We don't see them here in America. We don't see what's going on, right? We got to kind of research and look in different articles around the world to find these things, right? Because it's not being shown here um, in the U.S., right? They're not showing this stuff, right? So let me get back to this. 2 Esdras 15 verse 27. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For the Most High shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Right? So these plagues have come upon the whole earth, man. The whole earth, right? Let's jump down to verse 49. Right? It says, and I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. Right? And we know, ultimately, this, like I said, this place is going to be destroyed by the ICBM missiles, right? Um, these ICBM missiles, these nuclear weapons that are going to destroy this place and turn this place into the lake of fire, right? According to the scriptures, right? That this place will become the lake of fire, will be destroyed, right? Will be destroyed, will be utterly destroyed, will be flattened to like a plateau. You see, a plateau is just a flat land. This place, the mountains, all that, it's just going to be a flat land. That's how much destruction is going to come to this place, right? And it's going to be the inhabitants of wild beasts, in the latter end, But these are the things that are coming upon, right? And that's why you got to continue to look at these things and to research and find out what's going on, right? So like I said, I saw that, and that kind of really, I wanted to, do something, do a little lesson on that, right? Let me get one more and I'm gonna close it out, right? Let's show the picture again, right? So the plague of locusts in Mecca, man, right? So it's, then asked if is it biblical? Of course it's biblical, We already know that. And then, what you see, what you got going on now. So like, let's get to it. This is you see that you have the plagues of locusts, right? And you look next, right? You have the plague of darkness, right? And I just seen a couple of videos, right? From some whistleblowers. They're talking about, they're practicing for a blackout, right? They're practicing for a blackout, right? And what better way, when you're talking about darkness, right? Now you blacked out, you had your EMP or whatever it may be, however it happens, right? Where now all this stuff is in dark. Now you don't have the technology and these other things that's going on, right? So all here in modern day Egypt, right, which is America, right? These things, these plagues are coming upon, right, upon the world and upon this sinful kingdom, man. You know, but let me get what I was getting, and then I'll close it out. Right, this is the book of Luke. Right, this is one of my favorite ones, chapter 21, and start at verse number 34. Right, and it says, "Take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and the cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unaware. For as a snare shall it come upon all them that dwell upon the face of the whole earth." Right? So, like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. Right? The same things that were happening in days of old are happening, in these latter days, and they're playing out, in a more spectacular, right? Because, we know, according to Jeremiah 16, man, it's, no more is it going to be talked about, the Lord liveth that brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, right? But the Lord liveth that brought the children of Israel out of the land of the north, right? And this is the land of the north, right? Here in North America, because this new Exodus is going to be more incredible, and you saw how, Yahawashi told Moses, that you will be able to speak about this to your sons and your sons' sons. They shall be able to know about this, right? But what more this Exodus, right, out of the spiritual Babylon and Egypt, right? And Egypt and Sodom in this place, right? It says, "For as a snare shall it come upon all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth," right? And you got to take heed, man. You can't be. This now is really not the time to be idle, right? And to be procrastinating, man, right? Revelation 13, Romans 13 and 11, man. "For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe," right? So it says, verse 36, right? Just the point. It says, "Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man," right? Which is Yahawashi, right? But you got to watch and pray, right? You got to see what's Salaki, what's happening around this world, what's going on. You gotta see the times, right? And you gotta measure the times diligently, and see what's going on, right? So when you see these plagues, right, and this happened, like I said, this is April 17th was this video, right? April 17th, 2023. Right? These things are happening right now. You have the nations rising up. You have all these things happening, right? And these are the warning signs to warn our people, just like, what's that? I do 24. Let me see. Let's see. Salakia. Okay. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 36. It says, "But that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." Right? And this is what we got to understand. It says, I'm going to jump to verse 42. It says, "Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord, Habashimashai, doeth come." Right? You don't know. Right? So this is the time, but you got to seek it diligently. You got to be sitting here and carefully watching and discerning the times, right? You got to be watching. The way you watch is, right, you got to see you got to be checking in the news. You got to be checking these scriptures and checking the prophecies. Okay, this prophecy is about to happen. Okay, now this one is about to happen. Me and the brothers, we sit there and continue to talk about it, right? Hey, what do you think's about to happen next? What's gonna trigger the next thing? You know, and we sit here and we ponder on these things and we go through the scriptures and we talk about it, right? And that's what you got to do in these last days, man. Right? So you see these things that happen, man. This is time to continue to keep examining yourself, right? And see if you are in the faith, right? So with that, I hope this has been an edifying lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say Kahala Yahawah, Bahasham Mashiach Yahawashi, Bahasham Rawchaa Qadash. Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom to the hopeful elect. Stay strong, stay faithful, keep praying. Keep praying for one another. Keep watching and keep praying. And with that, shalom.